Right, ladies and gents, welcome to day 32. I know it's Friday, but I gotta admit, I'm a bit on one today. I'm wound up. So I hate to lower the Friday vibes, but I'm pissed off about something. I'm pissed off about a state of perpetual confusion that people are being kept in. It's not fair. People with power, people with influence are fucking the world up. And what's worse is they know they're doing it and they're doing it for profit. And that really fucking gets to me, ladies and gents. Because as soon as you call these people out, the vast majority of them will hide beneath some half-assed fucking identity. And they will say that you're a sexist or a racist or a homophobe. I am none of those things, but you know what I am? I'm a bellendist. If you are a bellend, shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of my way. I don't really care who you are, what you stand for, what religion or gender. You could be a fucking piece of IKEA furniture or a mirror or a cat for all I care. If you are spouting absolute nonsense, knowing that you are spouting absolute nonsense, fear-mongering, and putting people into a perpetual state of confusion so that you can profit, you are nothing short of a bellend. Woo! Okay, let's get into this topic. This whole topic, the reason we're doing this video, this has been on my mind for a long time. And then finally, the final sort of, what's the word? You know when it's something for, I can't think of it now. Whatever, the final straw. The final straw was this morning when I saw an advert on Instagram and it was selling cow testicle pills, claiming that they will help you lose weight. And I'm like, so for anybody who doesn't know this, people think and assume that the sort of health and fitness market booms in January. What you tend to find is that the gym subscription membership market booms in January, but then everything else, personal training, nutritionists, coaching, supplementation, exercise gear, all of this stuff, what we'd call primarily methods, booms in February onwards. Because in January, you have two groups of people. You have the people who will just, well, actually, no, you pretty much just want one group of people. Basically, everybody likes to try and do it themselves. They want to try and do the cheap and cheerful way and, the shortcut, and they want to go all in. And then, they get 3 weeks in, the motivation dips, the willpower dips, they realize that the approach they've taken is not sustainable. And at that point, I suppose one of three things happens. They give up, they try and power through, or they realize that they need something else to throw into the mix. Now, hopefully they go down the road of getting a reputable coach who has a stack of evidence and proof that they can help someone like yourself, whoever you may be, to get the result that you're trying to get. So you're not only shortcutting in terms of time, you're shortcutting in terms of money, because the amount of, time is money, basically. You're also going to spend that money elsewhere on supplements and workout gear, and you're basically going to do all the other stuff around it, but you're not actually going to hit your goal because you're not focused and you don't have the right direction. It also gives you a lot of peace of mind because you have someone in your corner, you have the accountability, maybe even a community of people who are telling you, you're doing the right thing, just keep going. And if you hear that from a coach, it's great. But if you've also got a community of people who are on the same mission as you and maybe one or two steps ahead of you, and they're telling you, no, trust me, I went through it literally last month and it works, just keep going, then that's absolutely fantastic. And a lot of people are stuck in this void where they're doing it by themselves. They don't necessarily have the support system because by now, 91% of people have given up on their New Year's resolutions. And so they're on their own and they're trying their best. And I love that. They're trying to become the best possible version of themselves. But it's very hard to do when you're in your own echo chamber, when there's no support network, when there's no one to ask or just to check that you're doing okay. And the natural thing to do at this stage is to sort of do a bit of research, is to invest a little bit more time, effort, and energy into this stuff. And the first port of call people will go to, or the three, I suppose, will be social media, it'll be podcasts, and it will be the mainstream media. And you can absolutely find a fountain of fantastic, evidence-based, practically applicable knowledge on these platforms, wherever you may go. However, unfortunately, the cream does not rise to the top necessarily when it comes to these things. And you have people peddling methods, whether that's diet types, supplementations, workout, specific types of workouts, whatever it may be, and somehow they make it to the top. What pisses me off even more is that when these people go from one end of the spectrum to the other, there is an incredibly well-known podcast, which you've all heard of, done by a British guy. It's a 4-letter word, the first letter starts with a D, I'm not going to say it. It is basically bought and paid for now by the mainstream media because of this man's involvement with the mainstream media. He's been known to remove comments on social media posts, to remove entire episodes when they go against narratives. And it's very frustrating because this guy in particular has an insane amount of influence, leverage, and power now, and has the ability, if he wanted to do so much good in the world. And I genuinely don't think he is trying to harm people. I think he's incredibly inquisitive and wants to try and get opinions from every end of the spectrum. But the problem with that is that there is no fact checking. So he's allowing zealots onto this podcast from every end of the spectrum. And there's a lot of people who are health people. And again, it's like, okay, are you doing this now for commercial gain? I believe his team has 30 plus people now. So he probably is doing it for commercial gain. He has 30 families now that he is basically responsible for feeding, for paying their mortgages and all this sort of stuff. So it's gone from what started as a passion project to try and improve his life and now has become a business. It's a little bit like I'm not going to name them, but two big diet companies. One has two words, they both start with a W. The other one is SW. You know which ones I'm talking about probably. Again, started very well intentioned, grew into these corporate Goliaths, and now are peddling absolute shit to people. And unfortunately, and I'm picking on this podcast because it's so well known and because right now he's probably the worst offender of this, is you can't be in that position, I don't believe. I just can't imagine that he thinks he's doing something good right now. He's obviously not a stupid guy. And if he genuinely thinks that having people on from either end of the spectrum, neither of which are being fact checked, is the right way to go, I know he's not. I know what he's doing. He's doing this for commercial gain. He's also invested in some of these companies, which is horrendous. It's horrendous malpractice, and unfortunately, because of the complete lack of regulation in these markets, he's never going to get nothing. There's no accountability here, and it's a real problem because people come into this, they trust the person who is hosting this medium of media, and they just believe. They absorb and believe. But the problem is if they've heard literally 3 days earlier something that directly contradicts what they've just heard today, they're kept in this perpetual state of confusion. And one of the biggest problems that I hear working with so many people now is, aside from not having necessarily the time, energy, or motivation, is the confusion. I hear so much, I don't know what to believe. My brain, as a result, does nothing. It's analysis by paralysis. It's very hard to know what to believe because these guys and girls who are on these podcasts, who are on social media, who are in the mainstream media, they are professional salesmen and women. They're professional marketeers. They know how to dig into your pain points and your fears, and then they know how to sell you the shiny object. That's what they do, and they're very good at it. They're multi-millionaires. Some of these companies are billion-dollar valuations. And unfortunately, I don't have a direct solution for you, but I want to make you aware that this exists, and that what's happening is, if you're struggling to do this, that your brain is in that state of paralysis by analysis. Another probably less problematic issue, for example, and again, I understand why they're doing it, is influencer workouts on social media. I don't put workouts on social media. First, for a few reasons. If I'm from a selfish perspective, I'm in the gym to train, not to show off. Secondly, me posting my workout has no relevance to your workout. I can give you tips on specific exercises, but I would much rather give you a program to stick to, which I know is going to help you achieve your goals based on your experience level in the gym. Because a program for a 30-year-old man who's new to the gym, looking to lose body fat and wants to train 3 times a week is going to be very different to a 50-year-old man who's trained for 10 years, wants to, I've probably given a bad example here, but build muscle and can train 5 times a week. Terrible example, because what 50-year-old wants to do that? But you know what I mean. If I just post my workout on Instagram, yeah, it's hashtag motivational, hashtag inspiration, great. But I don't want you necessarily copying that. And also, I don't just go out and do that workout 5 times a week. So you got to mix it up. You've got to have the right amount of variety. You've got to have progressive overload, all this stuff. And again, I don't think these influencers are doing it I don't think they're doing it with bad intention. And I get why they're doing it. They're doing it for clicks. They're doing it for views. They're doing it to build their brand, which I understand. I completely get it. I do the same thing, but I just choose not to do it with methods. It would be like me sitting on camera, literally just taking supplements, and you just watching me take supplements and then going, "You see, I take them and they're great." And then if I had enough influence and power, people would go, "Oh my God, look, he's doing it. I can see he's doing it, so I'm going to do it." And it's like, maybe that would work for you, maybe it wouldn't. And this is what's one of my biggest frustrations at the moment is, and like I say, unfortunately, I don't have a solution, but we've gone from having no information to all the information for free, available at the tap of a button, sold to us or given to us by people who are incredibly convincing. And also, not just convincing, but they can all turn around and say, "Oh, look, it's evidence-based because this one study that was done in North Korea 10 years ago." It's like there's so many levels of scientific studies. Like anybody now can pull a study out their arse and say it's evidence-based. And it's a real problem, guys. It's a real problem. So I suppose the message today is very much, if you're struggling with this stuff, just be aware that's why you're struggling. The perpetual state of confusion is a real thing. Do your extra research. If you hear something on a podcast or see something on social media, even if you see it 5 times, it doesn't mean it's true. Do your own research. And take things with a pinch of salt, I would also say. And then last bit I would say is, whatever you choose, whatever sort of methodology you choose, modality you choose, whether this is types of workouts, frequency or diet, whatever it might be, they all need to come back to the basics. So for example, if it's a workout, regardless of your goal, whether it's, basically there's 2 goals when it comes to, or 3 goals when it comes to fitness. It's improve performance and health. There's lose body fat and there's build muscle. All 3 of those can be built on pretty solid foundational principles, which is progressive overload intensity as well as another one, increasing the intensity over time, and then progressive overload, doing more, increasing your volume over time. And the third one is build your workouts around compound movements. And if you don't know how to do them or what they are, then again, here you go, do your own research, Google them. It's literally gonna take you 20 seconds. And build a very straightforward, simple workout routine that you know you can stick to. Same with diet. You can pick whatever method you want. There's thousands of methods, and they just keep inventing new ones. But they all come back to the same principle, which is calorie deficit versus calorie surplus, depending on the goal that you're trying to achieve, or even calorie maintenance. People seem to have this huge problem with eating their maintenance calories. There's nothing wrong with it. If you're in good shape, or if you feel good and you're healthy, eat your maintenance calories. It's a good thing. Just keep going. You're doing the right thing. One of the best ways to guarantee that you're going to improve your performance isn't to have a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus. If you're already healthy, just eat your maintenance calories and focus on other things. You can almost set your nutrition to autopilot. But whether it's keto, vegan, carnivore, low carb, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. They're all methodologies. They're all modalities. They all sit under a principle. So if you have someone coming on a podcast and saying, this food is bad for you, or this exercise is the one you have to do to lose body fat, it's bullshit. It's absolute fucking bullshit. If anything, if there's any truth in it whatsoever, it's going to take you from the 99th percentile to the 100th percentile. But by its definition, 99% of people aren't in the 99th percentile. So you don't need to worry about it. Nail your sleep, your movement and nutrition. That's going to get you 95% of the way there. And then if you want to jump in an ice bath, if you want to start fucking eating kiwis, I don't even know, then fine, look into all that shit and drinking pig's blood. I don't even know what crap these guys are peddling, because I see the podcasts pop up and I think, I'm not going to listen to that, because it's literally a waste of my time. In fact, it just infuriates me. So it's not just a waste of my time, it's then going to impact my mood for the rest of that day. And it frustrates the hell out of me, because I cannot believe that at this level, with this frequency, the guys who are doing this, and they know who they are, and you know who they are doing this innocently. The fact that they are investing in these companies and they are putting out information that is so confusing is exactly what the mainstream want. They want people kept in a permanent state of confusion and fear, because it means they can do whatever the fuck they want. Cool, where are we up to? 16 minutes, cool. I'll leave it there, guys. Sorry I killed the vibe on a Friday, if you're watching this on a Friday. But I think it's an important topic. And I guess the main takeaway from this is understand what the perpetual state of confusion is. Know that it is a very, very real thing and it's done on purpose. And do your own research and ask questions and try and find people who have an evidence of getting other people, have a stack of evidence of getting other people like you results. You know, if you are a 40-year-old woman, try and find a coach or an influencer, whatever you want to call them, online, who has a stack of evidence of getting other 40-year-old women the result that you want to get, whatever that, or solving the problem that you are trying to solve. Maybe that's a better way of thinking of it. You might not necessarily be striving for a result, but if you're doing this stuff, you're trying to solve a problem. So figure out what the problem is and then try and find a tribe who are also solving that problem, a person who can actually help that. And most of these people, including myself, clearly, are putting out so much content for free, you don't have to straight away pay them. Now, of course, if you do that, you're going to get access to, you're going to get more access to them, more personalization, more accountability, all this great stuff. But don't get your fitness advice from mainstream media and podcasts, basically, without sense checking it. Cool. I'll leave it there, guys. Have a fantastic Friday. I'll see you soon.